Hello everyone, this is Mrs. McCrary with Wittenberg Academy Arithmetic. Today we're going to talk about doing operations with fractions. So your reading starts with Elementary Treatise point 79, and in point 79 it states, any number of fractions are reduced to a common denominator by multiplying the two terms of each by the product of the denominators of all the others. That's a lot of words. What it means is that you're going to multiply all your denominators together and then multiply another similar number on the top. So let's go ahead and try that. So we have 1/3, 3/4, and 5/6. So we're starting by multiplying our product of denominators, multiplying all our denominators. So 3 times 4 times 5. 3 times 4 is 12 times 5 is 60. Now when we do 3 divided by 60, we get 20. Alright, so 1/3 is going to translate to 20/60ths. 4 divided by 60 gives us 15. 15 times 3 gives us 45/60ths. And 5 into 60 is 12. 4 times 12 gives us 48/60ths. Now, after it talks about this example, it then goes on to say that you are only going to multiply all your denominators if they are prime to each other. In this example here, where we have 2/3, 3/4, 5/6, and 7/8, these numbers all have common multiples. And so the method that our text suggests is to begin looking at the multiples of 3, which are 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, and 30. Now, begin seeing which of these are common multiples of 4, 6, and 8. So 4 we have 12, 24. With 6 we have 6, 12, 18, 24, and 30. With 8 we have 24. So we can see that 24 is a common multiple between all of them. It is our least common multiple. So then our lowest common denominator is going to be this 24. So then we will rewrite all of these with the denominator of 24, just like we did when we were working with our denominator of 60. So we multiply 3 times 8 to get 24, so we're going to then also multiply the 2 by 8, which is going to give us 16/24. We multiply 4 by 6 to get 24, so then to change our numerator, we're going to multiply our 3 by 6, which gives us 18/24. 6 times 4 gives us 24, so we'll do 5 times 4 to find our new numerator, which is 20. 24ths, and 8 times 3 gives us our 24 common denominator. So we'll multiply our 7 times 3 so we don't change the value, and that gives us 21 24ths. All right, as we look at section 80, it says, by reducing fractions to the same denominator, they may be added and subtracted. So now that we have found up here a common denominator between 3 and 8 is 24, we can rewrite this problem as 16 24ths plus 21 24ths. So that is to say, we have one item where we have 16 out of the 24 that we're focusing on, and another where we have 21 out of the 24. We are not going to change this 24 because that's still the units, if you will, that we're talking about. We still want our final answer to be out of 24 pieces. So then we just go ahead and multiply our numerators. 16 plus 21 is going to give us 37. And then from there, you can go ahead and reduce that if you need to. And again, to reduce this, you would divide your numerator by your denominator, and then whatever your remainder is would then go back on top of 24. So it would be 1 and 13 24ths, something like that. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do some subtraction. Now here again we have denominators that are prime to each other, so we'll multiply them together. So we're going to go ahead and multiply times 3 over 3, and this one we'll multiply times 5 over 5, and that is going to give us 12 15ths minus 5 15ths. Again, we're not going to change our denominator because we are still looking at something divided into 15 pieces, so we will just go ahead and subtract our numerators, leaving us with 7 15ths. In section 81, it states, when there are at the same time both whole numbers and fractions, and the whole numbers, if they stand alone, must be converted into fractions of the same denominator as those which are to be added to them or subtracted from them, and if the whole numbers are accompanied with fractions, they must be reduced to the same denominator with these fractions. So what that means is, if you are working with whole numbers and fractions, you need to convert, or mixed numbers and fractions, you need to convert everything into improper fractions and then make sure you have a common denominator. So over here, we have 9 minus 4/3. Again, any whole number can be thought of as a fraction by just simply putting it over 1. Now to make one common denominator with 3, we're going to multiply them together. So we'll multiply this one by 1 over 1, which doesn't change the value, which doesn't change anything. And we'll multiply this by 3 over 3, which gives us 27 over 3 minus 4/3, which gives us 23 over 3. And then again, that can be reduced. All right, so now over here with the 7½ plus 3/11, we need to convert our 7½ into an improper fraction, and then we need to find our common denominator. So again, we take our integer times our denominator. 7 times 2 gives us 14, plus our numerator. 14 plus 1 is 15. So we have 15 over 2 plus 3/11. Now 2 and 11 prime to each other, so we will multiply by 2 over 2, multiply 11 over 11. This is 165 over 22 plus 6 over 22, resulting in 171 over 22. And again, this can be reduced by dividing your numerator by your denominator. Now, in pure mathematics, it discusses adding and subtracting a series of fractions. So in section 20, it says, bring the given fractions to their least common denominator, add together the numerators thus obtained, and place under the sum the least common denominator. So we need to look at 3, 21, 14, and 6. And through various methods, we find that the common denominator is 42. So that we will then convert these into our new fractions. We multiply 3 times 14 to find our denominator 42. So we're going to multiply 14 over 14 by 2 over 3. That's going to give us 28 over 42. To convert this 21 into a 42, we multiply by 2, so then we'll also multiply the 10 by 2 so as not to change the value. That gives us 20 over 42. 14, we've already found, is a factor along with 3 of 42, so we'll multiply 9/14 by 3 over 3. Gives us 27 42. And to convert the 6 to a 42, we need to multiply by 7. Since we don't want to change the value of the fraction, we multiply the numerator by 7 also, 35 over 42. And now it becomes a simple addition problem of 28 plus 20 plus 27 plus 35. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, okay. Which gives us 110 over 42. And again, that can be reduced if it needs to be. All right. Now in section 21 of Pure Mathematics, it states, bring the given fractions to their least common denominator, subtract the numerators thus obtained, and under the difference, place the least common denominator. So our least common denominator between 8 and 5, these numbers are prime to each other, so we're just going to multiply each side by the other denominator. And the numerators also, because we don't want to change the value. Alright, so 5 times 7 gives us 35 over 40 minus 24 over 40. We are going to then subtract the numbers thus obtained. Those are our numerators. And that is 11. And under the difference, place the least common denominator of 40. 40. Okay, now we can also do the same process with mixed numbers. Now you can just convert these all to improper fractions, find your common denominator, and work from there, and just work from your right to your left, or I'm sorry, from your left to your right, but that will get a little awkward as you're starting with 6 minus 7, and as you do have a large enough value later in the problem, that's not an issue. But for now, we'll go ahead and follow the method outlined in Pure Mathematics. They choose to simply deal with the whole numbers first and then look at the fractions separately. So I'm going to write that as two separate problems. So we have 6 minus 7 plus 4 minus 1, 1/3 minus 2/9 plus 5/12 minus 5/18. Now, Pure Mathematics states that when you are looking at a problem like this where you have addition and subtraction mixed together, it is often useful to group your addition all together and group your subtraction all together, keeping in mind that the sign preceding the number is what determines if it is added or subtracted. So in this case, the 6 is being added, the 7 is being subtracted, the 4 is being added, the 1 is being subtracted. So we could rewrite this as positive 6, or 0 plus 6, plus 4 minus 7 minus 1, then combine it even further to 10 minus 8. That gives us 2. So we know we are going to be dealing with a whole number of 2. Then over here, we will let's go ahead and get our common denominator first, and then we will rearrange our problem. And with 3, 9, 12, and 18, our common denominator is going to be 36. And so to convert a 3 to 36, we're multiplying by 12. So we'll do 12 over 12 times 1 over 3 gives us 12 over 36, minus 9 times 4 gives us 36. 2 times 4 gives us 8 over 36, plus 12 times 3 takes us to 36. So to keep our value the same, we need to also do 5 times 3, gives us 15 over 36. And 18 times 2 gives us 36, so then we'll then subtract a 10 over 36. Now let's go ahead and rearrange this. So we have 12 over 36 plus 15 over 36 minus 8 over 36 minus 10 over 36. That gives us 27 over 36 minus 18 over 36, which then takes us to 9 over 36, which is the same as 1/4. We then combine that with our 2. And our answer is 2 and 9/36, or 2 and 1/4. All right, so hopefully that explains some of the any questions you might have. Again, just carefully read through those problems, especially in pure mathematics, as they do tend to say things in their own unique way. If you have any questions, try to be as specific as possible with those questions, including, if you can, a page number or a problem number that you're having difficulty with, or a section number, and that way we can decrease any downtime as we're trying to pinpoint the issue. Go ahead and write down any questions, and you may save them for our live chat when we can talk more instantaneously, or of course you can email me or use the forums. I look forward to talking to you at our live chat, and until then, blessings in all that you do.